I'm Andrielle Mylan, this is Live Well with Elle, and on this channel I do things like product review videos, how-to videos, and really just all things to help you live well and live your best life. So if you're interested in that kind of content, then please feel free to subscribe to my channel so you can follow along on this journey. And please join the community. I'm thrilled to have you, and without further ado, let's get into it. Hello, my friends, and welcome to Season 1, Episode 2 of the Live Well with Elle podcast. I'm your host, Andrielle, and if you're watching me on YouTube, then this might be the last time you see my cute little podcast room, because I am currently in the process of trying to leave a covert narcissist. So I just kind of wanted to get on here and just share my story, because this is just what I'm going through right now. And I just wanted to talk about just the fog that they put you in, because I know I briefly explained in the first episode about my past. And so I believe I mentioned that I was married to an overt narcissist, and our divorce was just official last year. So getting away from him, though, it was just a lot different. Like it felt like a huge weight lifted off of my shoulders, but I just wanted to get on here and just kind of share my story and share some of the signs that maybe it would be helpful for you to look out for, or if you recognize any of these signs of a relationship maybe that you're in now, then just maybe hopefully this will help you and help you realize you just need to get out. Just get out, walk away, cut the cord, just go. Because it is now a very complicated situation for me. So I moved here to be with this man, and he loved bombed me, and I moved here to be with him. And now I'm here with no friends or no family close by. Like, I have nowhere to go. And, I keep catching them lying and cheating, which is what they do. They're just compulsive liars and cheaters. So, I guess I'll just start at the beginning, because at first I was with an overt narcissist. So apparently they say that when you get out of a relationship with a narcissist, apparently there's another narcissist waiting in the wings, like a lion on their prey, to get you. Like, they can sense it, like we have a sign or something. So I was with an overt narcissist, which I had known him a long time, and he didn't love bomb me or anything. So I didn't know what that was like to experience love bombing, which is what I got out of this last relationship with the covert narcissist. So let me back up a little. If you're not sure the difference between an overt and a covert, the overt narcissist is they're just more obvious. Like, they're just blatantly rude and aggressive and just it's obvious. They just think, they're very grandiose. They just think, they're the king of the crop or whatever. So with the covert narcissist, they're much more subtle, which I just learned all about this. I'm still learning about it, but I just figured I'd get on here and share what I've learned. So hopefully this can help someone else. So the covert narcissist is much more subtle. They're very passive aggressive. They are just not as obvious. It took a lot longer for me to figure it out this round, because and I just thought too, like, I was with a narcissist before, and I thought, he's just so different than the type of narcissist he was. I thought maybe the man I am with now was just like an avoidant, or I just was like, I went back and forth about, is he a narcissist? And then I saw some reels pop up about the covert narcissist, and I'm just like, oh wow, everything started fitting, everything started making sense. So that's like how I got a lot of my information. So that's why I'm just hoping maybe this will help someone and if you're in this situation, help you realize it and just get out, because they're not going to change. They will not change. And I probably stayed an extra 4 months longer than I should have, trying to give him a chance to, work on this relationship with me. But I can't be the only one working on it. So, and that's what happens when you're with a narcissist, because everything is about them. Everything is about them and how you can cater to their needs and how you can meet their needs. And it's all about them. None of your needs are met. It is not about you. And that's just the beginning. Like, there's so many things that I just didn't realize. And so with the narcissist, it's like they put you on this pedestal and they idealize you. And once something happens that you end up off the pedestal, like if you put a boundary in place or say no, or just basically put boundaries, I feel like, in place, they then take you off of this pedestal and they start the devaluing phase. And so they start the devaluing phase and like basically just treat you like crap, ghost you, disappear, just, won't respond to your messages, won't respond to your phone calls. And this is like right now I'm dealing with the covert narcissist. So these are all things happening with the covert narcissist. And I'm trying to remember and think back really what it was like with my overt ex-husband narcissist, because really I didn't ruminate on that because I just wasn't as hurt about it. I wasn't love bombed. And honestly, I feel like I know I did settle in that relationship, but I had known him for so long and I just thought, I had been picking the wrong type of men and I was ready to settle down and get married. I was at that age. I felt like it was time. And I had known him for so long and he'd always been after me. He was always there, always interested in me. And so I just thought, he had a good job. He had a nice home in a nice neighborhood. He had a son that he had custody of. So I just thought, well, he, seems like he'd be a good provider and stable and all of these things. So I decided to give him a chance, and that blew up in my face. But, I don't believe in mistakes. I feel like every choice we've made, every decision, everything happens for a reason. And you learn through it and you grow. And like, that's one of my things is just, I always want to be learning and I always want to be growing. So I don't regret anything. I don't have any regrets. And I don't believe we make mistakes. I think everything's meant to be for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. So with the ex-husband, it's like I really just tried to forget. I tried to forget everything and move on. And so like as soon as I left, I got my little apartment and, decorated it how I want. And I just, just was living life. I was just living my best life. I was so happy, so free, just a huge weight lifted off of me because he was just demanding and everything was about him. And it was how I had to meet his needs and cater to him. And none of my needs were met. And not to mention, they just treated me like crap, him and his son. And his son was, he was going on 18 by the time, like he was 17 when I moved out. So his son was old enough, becoming a man. They were both like 6-something feet tall. And it's like I had two grown men ganging up on me all the time, basically, and just taking over my things. There were no boundaries when it came to my things, like they thought they were entitled to anything that was mine, like my car. They decided just to take my car over. They started taking all the things out of my car. Like I had a little blingy steering wheel piece, and like my grandma gave me this guardian angel little visor clip. And so they're taking all these things out and putting his son's things in my car. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, what do you think you're doing? And I remember being out in the driveway, like kind of arguing, getting into it with them in the driveway in this nice neighborhood, It's just like, who does that? Like, who do you think you are? This is my car. Your son doesn't even have a license yet. I'm the only one encouraging him to get a license. He's failed his written test about 5 or 6 times at this point. I mean, it's just no motivation, no accountability, no responsibility. And that's the thing. They don't want you holding them accountable because they can do whatever they want. They can lie, they can cheat, they can do whatever they want, and they expect you to go along with this little delusional fantasy world that they live in, which they'll gaslight you and tell you that you live in a delusional fantasy world, but it's because you're not believing their lies. But it's because you're not believing their lies, like blatant, obvious lies that you keep catching them in, that they will lie through their teeth until their teeth fall out. They would rather their teeth fall out than admit to the obvious lie, even with proof, even you have proof, and they'll lie through it. So, and just with my ex-husband, I mean, there was a lot of things, so many things he did, and this probably will end up being more than one episode talking about just the narcissist and the different things they do, because I really do at this point just want to bring awareness to people. I want people to know and know the signs and know that it's toxic as fuck and you need to get out. Like, they're not going to change and you need to go. So if you're seeing this or hearing this and maybe this is your sign that it's time to get out. And I'm sorry this isn't like a lighter video, because I wanted to make this podcast with the intention of just a lighthearted, living well, eating well, fertility, because I've struggled with infertility, and just things to help you change your diet, things to help you change your lifestyle, just to live better and do better. And that honestly was my intention with this podcast, but now things have just changed, and that's one of the things I wanted to bring up also, is how they keep you in such a fog. Because I was just gone out of town for a couple days, back home visiting family, and I felt so clear. Everything was coming together. Everything was like coming together, my plan, my escape plan, getting out of here. It was all coming together. And then I said to my mom on the drive back home, it's a long drive, it's like a 9-hour drive, so it took me all day. But I said to my mom, I'm like, I just know when I walk back in that house, I'm just going to be back in that fog. Like, it takes over you. It drains you. It takes your spirit. It takes your sparkle. Like, it just keeps you in a mental state of confusion and just like a constant brain fog, and nothing makes sense. Nothing works out. And then you've got them there watching over you and checking on you all of a sudden, because there was a point where we were at the point he was just completely ghosting me while he has a new supply that I know. So he has a new supply. And he's been ghosting me. And so I don't know if now he can sense me maybe pulling away, because we've had the breakup talk multiple times now, because nothing is changing and I keep catching him in lies. And so this is another thing that they do. This is another sign, is that they will just basically skip over the whole thing and act like nothing happened. Act like you never had that talk. They want you to just skip over it too. They think you will pick back up, where things are fine and everything's okay. And that you'll just be so grateful that they're not like raging or in a bad place, that you'll be so grateful and you'll just pick up too where things were and let it go. And that's another sign, is they want you to always let it go. They always want you to let it go. They don't sorry. They don't meet you like on a compromise. They don't compromise. They don't meet you on a compromise anywhere, because it's all about them. And really, they just want to do what they want to do and get away with their cheating and lying. And you just have to put up with it. They just expect you to sit there and put up with it. Even when they like ghost you, it's like you can't possibly think, I'm going to sit here all day. I've got my poppy drink here. So I didn't realize I would have so much to say. But I do think this is going to probably be over multiple episodes, and just probably plenty of reels and things like that, because there is a lot to say and they do so much mental damage to you. They just do so much damage. Like, I'm a sparkly, happy person. Like, I'm bubbly, I'm sparkly, I'm happy. I love to go spread the joy and spread the light. And like, I just love to go meet people and have friends and get out. And like, they don't want you to do any of those things. That's another sign, is they will isolate you. They isolate you from your friends, from your family. They never want to know about your day or your friends or your family, but you have to know, what's going on with them. If they want to tell you, it's just all very, you're always walking on eggshells with them. You never know what the day is going to bring. And this was the thing with the overt narcissist. So with the overt narcissist, my ex-husband, he would blow up and get into rages. And the other thing is, he loved to smoke pot. And like, I have no judgment about it. I am not a pot smoker, but he loved to smoke pot. And the thing is, when he'd wake up in the morning and he had been basically withdrawing all night, that was the worst time for his rages. Like, he would wake up just in a rage. And so I just knew I was just always on eggshells. And it's just like, I didn't even want to be around him until he had smoked his pot. And that's the only time he would calm down a little, to where I could even tolerate him. And that's another thing. He did not want to be touched in the night. So I just remember always staying over on my side of the bed, like scared to death if I accidentally bump into him, because he would wake up in a huge rage. But now with the covert narcissist, I'm not sure if this is with all covert narcissists, but the one I'm with, that I'm trying to make my escape. So hopefully by the time this comes out, I will be settled in my new apartment. But right now, it's like, in the beginning with him, and still now, he like is affectionate and was affectionate, and he did like to cuddle and like just very touchy-feely affectionate. So I'm not sure if that's a thing that covert narcissists do, or if it's just him. So, but that is one thing that I thought was sweet in the beginning, because I'm affectionate also, and like, who doesn't love cuddles, by their man? So, and he bummed me, and I thought he was the one. Like, I thought finally I met the one. Like, I thought he was really it. I'd only felt like this one other time. And that's another sign, they say, is that they mimic you, though. Like, they will mimic you in the beginning, and the same things that they love you for and put you on that pedestal for in the beginning are the same things that they end up hating you and resenting you for later on, because they can't be that light, because they don't have that light. They see something in you that they love and they want. It's that sparkle you have, and they want that. But they can't have it. They don't know how to have it, and they never will have it. So what they do is they take you and your sparkle, and they deplete you of that until you have nothing left, until you feel like you are nothing, until you are so confused, so beat down, so broke down. You don't know what to do or where to go, and they've just got you in such a fog. Because I remember when he started the devaluing, I just didn't, I was so confused. But that's what else I was going to say, is just the fog. Like, as soon as I got back to this house from visiting my family, I told my mom, I'm going to walk in and it's going to hit me, and I'm going to be in a fog again, and I'm not going to know what to do, and I'm not going to, like, nothing's going to come together for me. Like, I can think clearly when I'm not here. And now at this moment, it does feel like everything is kind of falling apart on me. Like, my plans to get out and everything is just all over. And not to mention the fact now it's like he's kind of keeping a closer eye on me, because we have had the breakup talk. And at this point, I just don't think he gets it. And because I think he's in a delusional fantasy world, and he thinks I'm just going to say, oh, I'm sorry, I love you so much, like, I don't want to break up, I'll stay, I'll do whatever you say, And this is another sign. I'm sorry, but this just popped in my head. Let me get this out. The pictures, because I was talking about the cuddling in the beginning. Well, we also used to take pictures all the time, and he always wanted pictures with me. And now it's like pulling teeth to get a picture, and it's like I disgust him. Like it's disgusting him that I would want pictures with him, and I'm just such a burden. And this is another sign. They ignore you when you're talking to them, when you're out in public or at home or whatever. They just ignore you. They'll just look straight ahead like you're not even talking to them, like they don't hear you. And when you're in public, that's embarrassing. People see that, and people see him treating you that way, treating me that way, whatever. If it's happening to you too, then like I said, please let this be your sign to get out, because they're not going to change. They're not going to change. And I've caught him in multiple lies at this point. And honestly, I just wish that I would have left right after the first lie. And even before that, when he started the devaluing and I knew things changed, I'm like, you know what? Like, I asked him, what is wrong with you? Like, what's with you? This isn't the same person. You're not the same person I came here to be with. Like, you used to check on me every couple hours, and now I don't hear from you all day long. Like, I'm the only one reaching out. You just give me short one-word sentences. Don't call me babe anymore. Don't call me baby. Like, you just are acting like I'm a burden. So, I'm like, what is going on? Like, do I just need to leave? Do I need to move out? I asked him that, and he's like, no, whatever, just something. And at that point, it's like, well, I already spent all this money to get here. I just went through all this, moving here, all my things. Like, I had a lot back home. I had an Airbnb back home, a 3-bedroom home, and then I had a 1-bedroom apartment that I lived in. So I went through a lot to get here and get all my things here. So, and you know what? That's part of the learning and growing. So again, I don't believe in mistakes, and I believe we're always learning and growing. But I went through a lot to get my things here, and that's something I'm learning from this I will never do again, is move too quickly. And everyone told me that don't move too quickly, because it was fast and he was love bombing me and I was falling for it. But I just thought he was it, I thought he was the one, because coming into this relationship, I was just so naive. I just realized I was so naive, and I just believed the best in people, and I just didn't think there were people out there like this evil that they don't know how to behave and treat someone. But I mean, that's another thing, is some people believe that there's like demons inside these narcissists. So that's a whole nother thing. And I haven't really dug into that, but I will say this is another sign, is they do get black eyes. Their eyes will go black, like especially when they're in a rage or lying or whatever. They get these black eyes, and it happened with my overt ex-husband narcissist and the covert narcissist that I am with now. I have noticed the black eyes happen. I thought that was so weird because I remembered it with my ex-husband. And then going through like the research I've been doing and learning about this, it's a thing. Like, this is a thing that they do. They get these black eyes, which is just crazy and creepy to me. But it happens, and I've seen it happen twice in a row with my ex-husband and now this one. So it's like, that's another sign. So yeah, it's just things to look out for. I hope this helps somebody. But and then too, just like, so he started the devaluing phase, and I knew something was wrong, and I was like ready to leave. But again, I had just spent all that time and money and effort and energy getting here. So I'm like, all right, maybe, maybe we can work on this, maybe things will get better. So a little more time goes by, and I end up, another thing, I'm sorry, let's just get this sign out. Another sign, they will not let go of their exes. They will not let go of their exes because they need that supply. They won't let go of their exes. They'll still keep in touch. They'll still text. And so this was starting to go on. I started noticing that he and his ex were communicating suddenly quite a bit over things that they didn't need to be. They don't have children together. They had like a business together that I knew they were going to need to file taxes on or whatever. But it's like, okay, well then talk about that. Like, you don't need to be talking about the Mexican restaurant you used to eat at and the Oreo aisle and LOLing. Like, you know, like you don't need to be doing all that. So that's another thing. They hold on to those supplies. They hold on to those supplies. And then when your devaluing starts, it's usually because they found a new supply, which he had, which I found this out. Well, New Year's Eve, I saw an inappropriate text to his ex. And then 2 weeks later, I was ready to break up with him over that. Honestly, I was ready to leave. I told him I was leaving, but we were out of town. We were at his friend's house, so I tried to just kind of play it cool, but I was pissed, and I'm really not one to keep my mouth shut very well, and I have a temper because I'm a Scorpio rising, but I'm a Pisces sun and then a Libra moon, so I don't know. I need to look into that more. Sorry. If we want to get into astrology, let me know and we can do a different thing about that. But I do know, I do get into that. I'm very spiritual and very aware. And so, yes, I'm Scorpio rising. So I just have trouble keeping my mouth shut. And, I have a temper, when I'm set to that point. But it's been much needed throughout my life because, boundaries. You have to set boundaries. And just with my toxic family, myself, I can get into that in another video too. But I kind of explained it in my first episode, just how, coming out of a toxic life, family, and just trying to do better for myself and put boundaries in place and just manifest my next level and my next level and my next level. So I'm just going to keep leveling up, people. We're going to keep leveling up. I know this is a difficult situation right now, but this narcissist is not going to stop me, and they're not going to stop you, because we're going to do what the fuck we need to do. We're going to go out there. We're going to fucking sparkle. We're going to sparkle, bitches, okay? We're going to fucking sparkle. So if you need this message right now, this is for you, okay? We're not going to fucking let these motherfuckers bring us down. No, no. We're going to get our fucking sparkle back, get our head clear, get out of this fucking mess, and go start the new chapter, our new life, in the beautiful sunshine, in the beautiful sunshine state. We're going to be on the beach. We're going to be so happy, okay? We're going to be so fucking happy. So, sorry, I had to go on a tangent there, but yeah, so I'm trying to think where I was. Let's think, where was I? Might have to cut this part out. So, okay, yeah, that's right. So I was saying 2 weeks later, I found the worst message. He was just being so weird, starting to be weird with his phone, hiding his phone, taking it to the bathroom all the time. He used to pull up his text messages around me and his emails and blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, he's doing everything to hide that. And then he used to get notifications from the different apps, like the Messenger app and the Instagram app and all of that. He used to get notifications for all that. All of a sudden, all those stopped, and he was only getting text alerts and email alerts. So I'm just like, okay, and then I'm like, that's what else. I suggested that we be on the same phone plan because we're both already on the same company. So I'm like, let's just go ahead and be on the same phone plan, because everything I had suggested to that point, it was fine. It was like, let's share location, which we do. And I was like, let me be on the cameras for the house so I can see what's going on, which he did. And I'm like, he gave me a credit card off his account with my name, because really I asked for that because he was always wanting me to run his errands and his dry cleaning and things like that. And I'm like, you know what? That was annoying. I'm like, if I did it a few times, but I'm just like, if I'm going to be running your errands and taking my time, I'm not paying for it. And you complain about me not working very much right now because, but it's even when I try to work or do work, then you tell me to call in because you need me for something, or, it's just always about them and their needs. And it's you just don't even want to hear. Even with this podcast, it's such an issue that I have not been able to focus and work on this podcast, because every time I do or take time to do something for myself like this, he gets all very insecure. That's the thing with all the narcissists, is at the core, they're very insecure and they feel shame, is what my research I found out is that they feel very shameful. They have a lot of shame in them and they're just very insecure. They're very insecure. So that's another thing. It's like you get to the point you don't even want to hear it anymore. You don't want to get into it. You're walking on eggshells. You don't want to get in another argument. But that's another sign is nothing you ever do is good enough. Like nothing you ever do is good enough. It just doesn't matter. And if you're in a narcissistic relationship, then you know exactly what I mean. Even the littlest things. It's like nothing's good enough. Oh, like, oh, you let the dogs out. Well, you let the dogs go get dirty, you know? It's like, okay, so I let the dogs out, but still, let's find something to complain about. Or I did all your laundry, I washed all your clothes, but there's a little stain on this that I didn't see because I've been doing laundry literally all day long, millions of loads of laundry. Missed a little stain, so don't thank me or anything for washing all of your clothes and taking my time all day to make sure all our laundry's done and we have clean clothes, but just point out the one little stain that I missed and bitch about that, you know? Just things like that. So, all right, sorry, back to my point where I found the inappropriate message that I just wish I would have left after. Oh, because when he said he didn't want to be on the same phone plan with me, and then he was being very weird with his phone, and then he changed his passcode. I'm like, at this point, we really shouldn't even, because I just knew, though. I knew. Like, I never had wanted to go through his phone before. I never felt the need to, and I'm not the kind of person that does that. Like, I don't want to. I don't want to feel like I have to. And a lot of people say when you get to the point that you feel like you have to go through their phone, like, that's probably it right there. That's all you need to know. And yeah, if like I hadn't spent all that time and moved in here and done all that and was already kind of stuck here, I probably would have just cut him off at that point and been like, we're done. Like, I'm not doing this. But so, yeah, he said no to the phone bill. And I'm like, okay, that's just weird. And I'm like, we shouldn't have passcodes and I should know your passcode and you should know my passcode. And he's like, okay. So then he changed his passcode. Like, he changed his passcode right away. And I'm like, okay. So one night he's sleeping, or he thought I was sleeping, and he was on his phone and I saw him type in the code. So of course the next day, shamefully, I'm sorry, but I went through his phone that morning because it's like, I had went to work and I was trying to text with him and be flirty and cute and talk to him, and he's just ignoring me, just being terrible to me. So the next morning I check his phone while he's in the shower. So what does he do? He jumps out of the shower. Like, he would not leave his phone anywhere. It was like he literally jumped out of the shower because he remembered he left his phone on the nightstand. And I'm like, hell yeah, this is it. I'm looking. I'm sorry, but I just need to know, It's like with women, we just want to know. Like, we just want to know. Like, we need the proof. We just want to know that we're not crazy or we're not leaving, because that's another thing, is they make you feel like you're crazy. And we just want to know that we're not. Like, we want to know this is legit. We legit have our intuition. We feel it for a reason. And it's like, you just don't want to leave and have regrets. You just want to know. So I look in his phone, and of course I find very, very inappropriate text messages to his employee that he had just hired around the holidays, which is exactly the time that he started acting strange with me. So this is his new supply. And so, which is why he started treating me like shit and devaluing me and all that good stuff, right? So anyways, he, tries to write that off and say it was a joke. It was a joke. We always need to lighten up, and it's always a joke. And there's just a whole list of sayings, always accusing him, just always accusing him of something. And, I need to have a little faith. And just, there's like a narcissist playbook, there's a book or something they follow, because they literally just about say the same things word for word. So we'll get into that another time. I've got it written down somewhere and I've got tons of notes, and I'm just trying to that's another thing they tell you to do is journal. Like, start journaling and journal, write it all down. You don't want to forget what's going on, and you want to keep your facts straight, because they will try to confuse you and they're like mental terrorists, and they're like little ninjas, and they just get up in your brain and they just fuck it all up and scramble it all up. So keep notes, journal, write it down. You're not fucking crazy. If you're feeling that intuition that something's going on, because, in the beginning, it's like, obviously, I felt safe. I felt comfortable. He made me feel safe, He didn't do all this weird shit. If they're doing weird shit like this, there's a reason. There is a reason, unless they're planning to propose or something, and they're trying to sneak around for that, which obviously that was not the case, because now he sits there and tells me that we never talked about marriage, that like he denies ever bringing up marriage when I saw him looking at engagement rings like 3 months in. And not to mention, he talked about it with his friends. Like, we were talking about it. We were talking about it with our friends, our mutual friends now. Like, just making kind of plans, just talking and joking about it. But he sure did talk about it. And now he says he never talked about it. He never mentioned it. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I've got like lists of moments in my head where we absolutely did. But that's another thing they do. And they start lying so much. I mean, they just start believing their own lies. And then they think you need to believe those lies because they think they're the truth now. And another sign is they will gaslight you and turn it all around on you and accuse you of being the one cheating. And that's the thing, is like, so specifically too. Like, he will be so specific about the cheating. Like, one time he was in the parking lot, because we share location. And that's another thing. It's like, why would you share location knowing you're going to be cheating? So I'm sorry. I feel like this podcast is getting long, and I do like, this is just going to have to be broken up into other episodes. So I'm sorry if this is so long. I'll try to wrap it up here, but there's just so much. But they'll accuse you of what they're doing, basically, and very specifically too. Like, he asked me, why am I sitting in a parking lot one day too long? And he accused me of cheating, talking on the phone to someone. And like a couple weeks before that, I had noticed he was sitting in the parking lot of the grocery store, and like for a long time. And I never brought it up to him. This was like before I thought anything would be going on. Like, I didn't know anything yet. But I just never brought it up to him. But then here we go, a few weeks later. Like, I noticed that, kept a mental note of it. I'm like, all right, whatever, maybe it was a work call or whatever. So a few weeks later, he exactly accuses me of sitting in the parking lot, which I was just shopping, going in and out of stores, back and forth to my car. And it's like, I'm not a liar and a cheater. I know who I am, and that is not me. I am not that. But they think that because they think that way and they are that way, they don't trust anyone because they think everyone's that way. They think you're that way. They think you think the way they think, conniving and evil. And that's a saying they have too, is like, once a narcissist catches you cheating, once you catch a narcissist cheating, that's the surefire way to know, like, they will never trust you again. Once you catch them cheating, they will never trust you again, is how like just manipulative and sick and twisted and psycho they are. And the whole thing is like, they really just do a mind fuck on you. So, all right, you know what? I probably should wrap this up. So anyways, it's like, I know he has a new supply now, and he just keeps trying to brainwash me and make me just go along with him and believe him. And I've caught him multiple times lying, and just like, I can look in the cameras. I was out of town visiting family a few weeks ago, and I can look in the cameras and hear him having an inappropriate conversation. I asked him, who are you talking to? Because he was ignoring me and my phone calls. And it's like, wow, the nerve and the balls you have, because I can see you on the cameras and I can hear you. Like, what are you doing? And so he just adamantly denies it. And I said, who were you talking to? Just like, show me, screenshot it and show me. Because he kept saying, oh, it was a client, it was a customer, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, well, if that's who it was, then you should have no problem showing me. But every single time I bring it up, he flies into a flipping rage and just flips out on me into such a rage that it's like you can't talk to them. You can't talk to them about it now because they just want to shut you down when you try to hold them accountable on their lies. But you know what? Any other time, if I was wrong, he would have no problem proving me wrong, and he would screenshot me whatever I was wrong about or just show me, like, if I was wrong. But this time I was right, which I've rarely been wrong, but at this point I'm on such high alert now that I'm just looking into everything he does. Like, he also likes to go to gas stations and sit there for like a half hour. And I know he's on the phone with his new supply, like he just likes to go sit there for a half hour on the phone with his new supply. It's like, so I know what you're doing. It's like, I know what you are doing. And it's just crazy that they think they can get away with it. Like, it's just insane to me. So anyways, if you're watching this on YouTube, like, enjoy my little cute little podcast room, because this might be the last time that we get to see this here, unless I can just make a bunch of content quickly and try to get all this out there. But I know this is getting long, so I don't want to keep going on much more. But if you have like questions, or leave comments, leave questions, I'd love to answer your questions. I would love to just help get this information out there. Just get this information out there. Like, get people aware, make people aware. I want people to know and be aware of the signs. And if you're in a toxic relationship, get the fuck out, because they're not going to change. They're not going to change. They expect you to go along with it. And like they say, you've changed. Again, gaslighting, turning it around on you. What they're doing, what they've done, of course. So they're going to accuse you of being the one that's changed, because now you're putting your foot down. Now you're putting boundaries in place. Now you're not putting up with their bullshit and falling for their lies. So, it doesn't matter. Fuck them. Fuck that. Go fucking sparkle, bitches. Like, we're gonna fucking sparkle. We're gonna get our sparkle back. We're gonna get our heads clear. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be fucking okay. We're going to be okay. So, you know what? And you know what, too? I would like to just go ahead and end like my podcast from now on with a little affirmation. And I want everyone to say it and repeat after me. That's how we're going to end the podcast every time. We're going to say, I am healthy. I am happy. I am healed. And I am whole. And you know what? We're going to say that as many times as we need to say it, as many times as it takes. We're going to say it. We're going to believe it. We're going to feel that. We are going to feel that. And that's the power of manifesting your future life, your future self, your future everything, your new chapter, this new chapter. We're going to feel it. We're going to manifest it. We're going to be it. Okay? Close your eyes and just be there in your new space, in your new peaceful space. Close your eyes and you just imagine that and feel that. Feel that peace. Just feel that happiness and that peace that comes with leaving that toxic relationship, getting out of that toxic relationship. Like, this is your sign. This is it. Like, I'm in the midst of it now. And here I am stopping to make this and spread awareness, because really, I just feel like this is the only thing I can even do at this point. Like, I'm like, this is all I can do right now. I'm just kind of in a limbo with my plans. Like, everything's come to a halt right now all of a sudden. There's not any step I can take at this moment. At this very moment, I'm kind of stuck at this moment. But I mean, I know it will come together. I know it will be okay. But I just had to stop and do this and make this and get this information out there. And we all just have to share it, spread awareness. And if you're in this situation, please comment, and I'm Live Well with L _ if you're listening on a podcast. You can find me on Instagram or TikTok and YouTube as well. And it's Live Well with L _ So I'll try to link that somewhere for you, unless if you're watching this on YouTube. So, Yeah, okay. Sorry this got so long, guys, but thank you for listening, and I really hope that this helps someone. And if you did find this helpful, then please just give me a like and a follow and comment, and I'll try to answer any and all questions, or I'll just make another video or episode about answering those questions or whatever we need to do. But I just want to make a community here, a safe community, a safe space for people, for women that have been through trauma, that are going through trauma, that are losing hope, that have lost hope, that need hope, that just need to know that it's going to be okay, and you're going to come out okay on the other side. You are going to come out okay, because if I can do it, I swear and I promise you, you can do it. I promise you that. Because I've been through a hell of a life, and you know what? It's okay. All my challenges have just made me stronger and better. And that's what you're going to do too. And that's what we're all going to do. We're all going to keep learning, and we're all going to keep growing, because that's what this life is about. That's what this life is about. This is a journey. This is our vessel. This is a journey. This is a spiritual journey, okay? So it's just about learning and growing, and we have to go through these experiences. We have to, and you're going to. So you just have to make the best of it. Learn and grow, okay? Just learn and grow from it. Repeat our affirmation. I am happy. I am healthy. I am healed. I am whole, okay? I am healthy. I am happy. I am healed. I am whole, okay? We're going to repeat that as many times as we need to. Okay, you guys go out there and fucking sparkle, bitches. I love you. You know I love you. Okay, we'll be in touch. I'll see you in the next one. Love you, babes. Hey guys, I just wanted to say thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Live Well with Elle. Please be sure to go follow me on my other social media platforms if you're not already, at livewellwithelle_. And I just want to say also a big thank you to my producer, Adam, with influencer.tv. And if you guys are thinking about starting a podcast of your own, then please email me at livewellwithelle01@gmail.com, and we can help get you started with your very own first podcast. So I just want to say thanks again. I love you. Be sure to tune in next week for another episode of Live Well with Elle. And I hope to see you there. Thanks. Love you guys.